Okay. Back again for another card, guys. I hope everybody's doing okay today. I'm going to be knocking out Daredevil from the Netflix incarnation. Going to be able to get this one knocked out. I thought I'd do something different today, because I know I've been going with the traditional older characters or older incarnations, so I thought I'd do something a little more modern. Whoop, put a little freestyle line across there apparently. But yeah, I thought I'd check this out because I love this series. It is my favorite on Netflix so far in the Marvel line. I would love to see them do more with him, but we have to wait a while now because of everything else going on. But whatever, that's their call. And keeping everything matched up here best as possible, because that mask sticks out over his face quite a bit, but that's okay. Going to be a cool one. I love doing technical designs like this too, because it's a very tactical suit and it has a lot of unique edges and stuff that you don't normally get with just a standard, I don't want to say unitard, but a standard one-piece costume. That's what makes Batman and characters like that so cool to draw, is because of the fact you get to do all the technical stuff that you wouldn't normally get to do. So, always cool to check out. And give it a go if you can. Give it a go. And I got asked yesterday after the Kingpin piece if I would do commissions. I normally don't do a lot of those, but here recently I've been wanting to do a few more to get a few things out. And if you guys are interested, not that I'm shopping around or anything, I'm just putting it out there. If you guys are interested in any commissions, let me know. Because I am taking a couple of orders. Not overkill or anything like that that's going to stop my work, but I can schedule you in and get it done. So I won't be doing a lot of them, just as my schedule allows. So check with me if you're interested, and I'll see if I can schedule you in. I'm gonna go ahead and let that go and see what we can do with it, because I know a lot of people have been asking me about it. Please draw a commission on this and draw a commission on that. And yeah. Which it's all fine and good. So yeah. I don't know how fast this one's going to go, because most of the primary lines are here already, because I sketched them out to make sure I had the suit right. And being such a small card, I didn't know if I was going to be able to pull it off or not. But they're all there. So and if I'd have done this on a regular sketch card, which is like half of this, I don't know if I'd have been able to pull it off. But but this will work. So. Going to thicken this line up just a little bit on this helmet because it's a lot denser material. And I'm just going to go ahead and black this stuff out as I go along so we can knock it out. Because there's a lot of detail in this piece and I don't want to drag it out for a couple of hours, you know. That would be crazy. When I posted the warning, the 15-minute warning, I actually got a couple of comments from people that were saying, you know, well, why are you going to do that one? I don't like that one. Well, you should have checked me out yesterday when I said to let me know what you wanted to see. I gave you the opportunity, you know. Sorry, it is what it is at this point. You want to see something specific, you got to speak up, you know. I always find that amusing when people do that. They say, draw whatever you want and don't show up, and then, well, why didn't you tell me you were on? And then why didn't you draw this or why didn't you draw that? Cracks me up. Got to pay attention a little bit. If you're going to join in, you got to pay attention. I'm going to go ahead and knock out this stick here. This series is going pretty good. Can't wait for season 3. Of course, we're going to get Defenders first, so we'll have to go from there. But, yeah. Bummer about that, but what are you going to do? We're not in control. Just fleshing up this neck guard here. I really dig this costume because, like I said, it's got a great vibe to it. Very practical. Let me rephrase that. It's practical for combat. I don't see him going to a ball or anything in these, but whatever works. I'm putting in the padded ribs here. In this costume, these are sewn together to give an anatomical look, and I think that's really what pushes it home a lot for me in this version, is because of the fact that it's very visual driven over and above everything else. But at least they didn't give him, you know, bat nurples. That just drives me crazy to see that. It's like, you don't need that. But some people, you know, it's a thing. For me, it doesn't make sense to put, you know, nipples on the chest plate. I get the anatomical thing, but yeah, it's unnecessary. We know it's armor. We don't need to see that. Very interesting armor here. The reason I keep twisting it around is because I want to make sure that the lines are as straight as possible, which I know they're not going to be, but because I'm freehanding this, but still, I want to get it as technically sound as possible and get it as close as I can. Pop that shadow in there. Another thing is the eyes. These shadows on this mask aren't really as deep as they should be. But I think they did that to counter the fact that it looks like Batman. You know, they don't want it to look like the Bat-Cowl. Which I totally respect and dig that. It's always interesting to see how things work out, so it takes an original spin. I'm just kind of shading in these sides here a little bit. I don't want to black everything out, but I want this to take some form, so just adding a little drop shadow here and there. Trying not to overkill it. And showing a little bit more of the fact that these are floating pieces and segments, which I really found fascinating in this uniform. That's part of the appeal. The whole thing moves. It's very organic in that way. Now here we go with the padded gloves, which is going to be weird because this version of Daredevil has the Street Fighter style padded knuckles, which I also really dig on that, so it protects his hands. But to draw them, it's a little strange because it bulks up the fingers and makes them awkward in a lot of ways. A lot of people won't like drawing that. I think that's part of why they haven't switched him over in the comic book yet, because I know that's the DC manner of things, is to keep the suits and garbs separate from the movie universe and the television universe versus the comics. But Disney goes full on and swaps them out immediately. Disney and Marvel definitely bond together and knock that stuff out. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but if you ever want to know what's going on with where DC is going, follow the comic books. If you ever want to know where Marvel's going, follow the films, because that's the way they do it. I've talked about that for some time on just about every podcast appearance I've ever made since 2008 when they started this. Hey Tom, you made it, man. But yeah, you know, check it out. I mean, I've not to brag or anything, but I've been spot on with that one because I called it, because I knew exactly what they were doing, because I know the way Disney works. If you want to know a little more about it, Disney goes off and does primarily public domain properties, and then wraps them in the Disney cartoon, animated, or original versions of whatever they want to do. And that's why they get so many properties so fast, is they take on a lot of public domain properties. That's what I did with Firestorm Comics, and that's why I've got so many comic books coming out so fast this fall as well. Because we're publishing close to, I think 16 titles it is now. Got them all coming out. and the revamp's almost done for the website, so that's going to be pretty cool. Again, not trying to solicit anything, just talking. But yeah, it's going to be pretty prime. We are moving forward to that stuff. But the point of Disney and Marvel is every time they revamp something, they create it into their own original version of the property so that they don't have any problems with it, and so that they can make an exhibit or a ride or a film series or merchandise or all that out of it without issue. And I went right in there and right over that thumb. That's what I get for talking so much, right? But that's what they do. If you want to track them, track what they're doing for their latest film release, because it's going to come out and it'll show you exactly where they're going with the comic books in the next year or two after. Once those films come out, that's how they transfer it all. Now this is kind of weird because these gauntlets are strange. They're almost Batman-like in design. I think it was supposed to be a dragon scale type of influence, but it just didn't come out that way, I don't think. They were able to pull it off like they wanted. It was really weird in that regard. And that's not the top knuckle right there, that's the folding knuckle on the thumb, just so you guys know. I don't want you to think that, wow, that thumb knuckle's messed up. But no, that's the fold of the thumb. So anyway, I find it fascinating to keep up with the business that way. And a lot of that stuff is moving forward. This came along a lot faster than I thought it would. I thought we were going to have some extra time today, but I think we may get it here soon. Looks like it's going to come off. And the reason I'm going on that top edge, most people would have shadowed underneath, but the reason I'm going on this top edge is because I want it to have a lip to it, because it segments down his arm. So, just so you know. I'm going to draw in and block out the back ridge of that thumb knuckle on that other side. So you see the top of his hand right there, and you see where that thumb tucks down behind. And I'm not going to go into all the little pads and blocks and stuff on his hands. I'm just going to draw this ridge right here to show that on this hand, because we really can't see it from here, and the way his hand's tilted, we wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So just going to put a little shadow right on the ridge of this ear. Then flesh out these horns a little bit. And finish on that other stick. And then that'll be about it, because I don't want to mess it up. I want to go in with this one on color. Really strong with the red and black. And go that route. I did give him classic bolos though. I gave him the classic fighting sticks that he has, which actually has a cord through it, and bolos or whips out for his fighting sticks, which this guy doesn't have yet. He doesn't have the pull cord style yet, but he's getting there. They are getting in there. So I'm going to blacken this out, because this strap is black, and then it has a red cap right here for the buckle for the chest, and the back over the shoulder to protect it from being cut. So that's the buckle right there on the other side for the other one. And these are dark, so I'm going to put a little bit of a design on them, and that's it, because I don't want to go shining them up and all that. But they have these ridged marks on them for some reason, and I think that again is for a visual effect to catch the light. So And I'm going to shade this in just a little. I did decide to block that in just a little more because that is solid and I want that texture there. But other than that though, we are going to call it done so I don't monkey it up. Right there, right there. Beautifully done. Okay, even if I do say so myself. Awesome. As you can tell, I really like drawing this guy. So, I think this is going to wrap it up. Because of the way he's holding this one, it would be lit from a different side. So, there we go. I'm going to leave it alone. There you have it. Well, yeah. Hey, just for you guys that didn't see it, Matt posted about it coming back full circle with Marvel. I totally agree with that. They are using the comics for testing ground. But the thing is, though, they're still using the fundamental movie concepts, the original movie adaptations. Okay, they're still testing new characters, is what they're doing in the comics. They're not testing for the universe that way. They're testing new comics and seeing what the fan base is doing in regard to the comic books. They're not doing that for the movies itself. They have original properties that they're developing in their own movie version, and they're building that up from ground up. They always have, and they always will. As far as the aspects of what they're doing in the comics, they're just trying to find a new audience because they've lost control with their audience over there. That's hands down what they've been doing since 2008 when they changed everything up. They've been doing that actually a little bit before with the conversion of John Carter. It was John Carter, and then it turned into Disney's John Carter from Mars. But that was a public domain adaptation from the book as well, and it's been around for years. They've been doing a lot of adaptation stuff for the movie universe that they haven't been doing in the comics at all. They're testing the market in the comics because they don't understand that it's shifted. All the money shifted. And I'll talk about that in my comic Kickstarter podcast if you guys want to check that out. It starts this weekend. I'm putting it up Sunday with the first episode. You guys can start that. There's a portfolio post in there. The Stan Lee thing that I didn't get to put in due to a delay. I got that podcast put on there, and it'll be the first episode this weekend. You guys can check it out, and I'll do a couple of episodes. I've got one coming up on the discussion with Marvel about the way they do comics and the current state of the industry and the direction it's going. So check it out. You'll get a lot of information out of that, I promise. As far as this goes, though, guys, we're going to call it a day. Thank you very much. Post anything that you want as far as comments, questions, likes, suggestions for cards, that kind of stuff. Let me know what's going on. And we'll talk soon. Take care.